And I look after the investor relations and financial institutions group for the bank. Some of you have interacted with me in the past. I am joined today by some of the senior management and as well as the senior members of the board today, and I'll take a moment to introduce. So today among us, we have our chairman of the board of directors, Sri H.R. Khanji, former deputy governor, RBI, and a legend in the financial world and policy making world. We are so thankful and grateful for his vision and guidance, sir. It is an honor for us that Khan sir chose to be our leader and provide his mentorship, working tirelessly to guide us executives in building a very sustainable bank. Today also, he has specifically flown in for this event from Delhi last night, right, on our request at a very last minute, right? So thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence today. Can I please invite you on the stage, sir? Thank you so much, sir. We also have today our founder, Mr. Sanjay Agrawal ji, who is MD and CEO of the bank, and Mr. Uttam Tibrewal ji, who is Deputy CEO and Executive Director of the bank. Sir, please join us on the stage. It's Sanjay ji's vision and Uttam ji's execution that has brought us all together here. We are witnessing history in the making today, sir. So thank you so much. I'm just letting them know, sir. We also have among us two of our senior board members and independent directors. Kamlesh Vikram Sevis ji will just join in. And we have Ma'am Kavita Venugopalan sitting with us. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. Along with Akshay, obviously introduced himself, and myself, we also have some of the senior members from the management. Our CFO, Mr. Vimal Jain, our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Yogesh Jain, our Chief Credit Officer, Mr. Vivek Tripathi, Head of Media Relations, Virendra and Diksha. And of course, you'll get a chance to interact with them during the lunch and post that. So while I'll come to Sanjay ji and his vision a bit later, let me start by saying a big thank you and expressing our gratitude to the amazing vision and support of the government and the regulators, right? I think this in-principle license today is a great testament to the progressive policies of the current government at the center and under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Under his guidance, it's important to remember that under his vision only, that the first time in 2015, the differentiated banking licenses were given. So 10 small finance banks and 11 payment banks were awarded license in 2015 for the first time, right? And after seeing our performance for 8+ years, RBI has now granted us this in-principle approval. So it also shows a forward-looking approach at RBI. Entire dispensation, especially in the last 1 year post-COVID, as the country has been going through a very tight monetary policy and inflationary. I think the regulators have handled that well. And under the Honorable Governor, Sri Sanjay Malhotra ji, under his short span as a governor, I think RBI has brought in a lot more reforms and optimism, paving the way for a positive sentiment in the financial markets, as we are all witnessing, right? We want to take this opportunity to profusely thank to the brilliance, foresight, and guidance of the Reserve Bank as well as the Government of India that has enabled us to grow, serve our constituencies, follow a well-laid-out plan, and see accomplishment of our dreams through a clear and, might as I say, a well-lit path, right? Now, as part of this in-principle approval, the shareholding, there is one conditionality. I think there was questions that what exactly is in-principle approval. So as part of this in-principle approval, the shareholding of the promoter and promoter group in the transitioned universal bank shall be held through a non-operative financial holding company or an NOHFC, right? Or NOFHC, sorry, non-operative financial holding company. So that basically means that the entire holding of Sanjay ji and his family as promoter group needs to get transferred to a NOFHC. And RBI has given us 18 months to achieve this transition, right? Now, I'm calling this occasion momentous and, unprecedented again and again. why am I doing that, right? So the reason is this is the first small finance bank that has received this approval, right? But while that is unprecedented, it is also unprecedented that for the first time, the development has created a pathway for other small finance banks and NBFCs who have come up the hard way after serving the multitudes of small businesses and customers from Bharat's Dil, right, or Dhadkan, to graduate to what can be called the big boys arena or the universal banking landscape, right? So this moment will go down in India's banking history, where a small finance bank originating from India's hinterlands of Rajasthan dreamt big, and with their working and with their perseverance, purposeful execution, dedication, moved from a direct selling agent or a DSA of another bank to a NBFC, to a small finance bank, and now have received an in-principle approval from the Reserve Bank of India to become a universal bank, right? So the entire journey, it's not a celebration of just about this moment, right? There is a 30-year-old journey which allows people to dream big in this country, right? We feel proud that we have kept your faith in the last decade as an SFB and kept our heads down and continue to do what we were expected to do, which is serve our customers in the rural and semi-urban areas with dedication, trust, and diligence, and pave the way for growth while keeping our promises of a good governance. More importantly, it affirms AU's evolution into a complete bank, one that offers full spectrum of banking and products and services, which today's customer expects, which is be it retail, be it business, be it digital solutions, right? But our journey didn't start 10 years back, right? Our journey started in 1996 when a young man from Pink City of Jaipur with a CA degree in his hand and 1,000 dreams in his eyes set out to provide financial services to the hitherto underserved areas in and around Jaipur and across the state of Rajasthan. The success of AU is really a product of Sanjay Ji's vision and his ability to win absolute support for his team, who have put their whole and soul to bring these dreams to reality, ably guided and goaded by him all through the way and under the guidance of our board. Right. But a quick recap of our journey. Very early days from 1996 to 2015, AU began its journey in Jaipur, providing financial services to underserved communities, first as a DSA, then later on moving to become an NBFC, initially funded by HNIs, later on getting funded from first private equity in 2008, and then getting funding from institutions and banks, and World Bank, IFC coming and taking a stake in 2010, and Warburg Pincus coming in 2012, and then Chris Capital in Kedara, right? So we have been a product of the system, right? Then we transformed ourselves in a small finance bank or a bank in 2015. We got the license 2017. We converted ourselves, right? This was a significant turning point in our journey, where the dependence moved from financial institutions and private equities to more depositors, right? We acquired the fiduciary responsibility of becoming a faith keeper of our retail depositors. Then obviously we went on strategic growth path during the, let's say, 17, 19, 20s and onwards, where we created industry-leading innovative products across our deposit franchise, like offering monthly interest payments, paperless cash deposits and withdrawal services, higher returns on deposits, etc. The bank strengthened its retail offering with a range of credit cards and personal loans, and also received the authorized dealer Category 1 license in 2023 to expand its product offering to cross-border services and enhance the operational efficiency, right? So today, AU is a full stack bank. Anything that a large bank or a universal bank can do for you as a retail customer or as a business, AU can do it for you. It could be a personal loan, a credit card, a remittance to your son or somebody in family, sending money abroad. If you are a businessman, opening a current account, doing a cross-border transaction, LCs, BGs, anything that a normal bank can do for you, AU has the capability today, or we have built up in the last 3 or 4 years in our pursuit to be a complete bank, right? Of course, I think one landmark event that happened in our lives is the merger with Fincare Small Finance Bank. in 2023. We announced 2023 and we merged with effect from 1st April 2024. This was one of the fastest mergers in the Indian banking industry. And again, one of the first mergers of two healthy banks after 2014 when the Kotak and ING merger happened, right? Any merger in between has been more asset quality related than anything else, right? So this was a voluntary merger, right? And one of the most successful ones, because in such a short span of time, with effect from 1st April 2024, we are now good into 18 months into the merger. And what I tell everyone that since you haven't heard any noises, so hopefully it has gone pretty well, right? But today, over the past 3 decades, AU has transformed into a nationwide movement. I think FinCare merger also gave us a lot of presence in South India and also allowed us to do the bottom of the pyramid credit, right? So through the entire financial inclusion model of JLG, Joint Liability Group, I think we were able to cater to a segment which falls probably at the bottom of the pyramid and how we can bring them into the financial fold, right? We have transformed ourselves into a nationwide movement, bringing formal financial access to India's underserved regions, rooted in a philosophy that balances progress with purpose. AU champions responsible growth that is both sustainable and future ready. Technology further enhances AU's inclusive approach, providing intuitive digital banking, secure video banking, and customized solutions for individuals, MSMEs, and corporates alike. The holistic approach ensures banking that supports and empowers customers at every step. It is important to note that AU's journey, I think you might have heard this earlier as well, because we love talking about it. It is guided by the values of samajhdari, imandari, and zimmedari, right? So I think these are the principles that guide us day to day internally. You talk to any AUite, you'll hear this in every third or fourth sentence. But today, I think we have come a long way. We operate from 2,500 plus touch points, right, across 21 states and 4 union territories with 1.15 crore customers. We have 53,000 plus employees, on-roll employees. We don't have any off-roll subsidiaries, right? We have a balance sheet size which is much larger than some of the universal banks. We are at 1.6 lakh crore plus balance sheet, right? 1.62 to be precise. We have a deposit base of 1.27 lakh crore with a CASA ratio of 30% and CASA plus retail at about 70 odd percent. We have a loan portfolio of 1.17 lakh crores and a net worth of close to 18,000 crores, right? This in-principle license is very welcome development and will allow many more entrepreneurs and dreamers from small towns and cities to feel encouraged that their journeys can definitely reach them to pinnacle of institutional success, provided they follow a path of not just intense growth, but a principled and a responsible growth, right? AU is a testament to that. And this license today gives a lot of hope to a lot of people. I'm sure you're hearing some of the NBFCs that are coming out of Rajasthan and now trying to, gain foothold into the national market. Some of it we can definitely take credit for, boss. Okay. So this is a tribute to every stakeholder who has stood by us, our customers whose trust has shaped us, our employees whose energy empowers us, our investors and partners who believe in our business model, and our board of directors whose guidance has been instrumental in our journey. My friends in the media, I think you have been a big supporter of this story, right? Hand-holding us as we have achieved newer milestones and took the road less traveled. I want to thank all of you for your love and support and ensuring that we remain on the right path, right? As a media, that you have done that job very beautifully. And I have personally interacted with you, most of you, during the last 3-4 years. And I've seen, I've been immensely benefited from your own support that you have given to this show, or the love that you have shown to this franchise. Right? To paraphrase an American poet, Robert Frost, we have promises to keep and miles to go before we sleep. And miles to go before we sleep. So we are deeply grateful to everyone who has been part of this incredible journey, and we feel our transformation from a humble beginnings in Rajasthan to a national institution is a testament to trust, belief, and hard work of everyone who had contributed to AU's growth. So to take the proceedings forward, let me now request our chairman, Sri H.R. Khanji, to kindly share his thoughts on this momentous occasion.
Thanks, Prince. I'm really privileged to be here on this occasion. This is a momentous occasion, as Prince was telling, and today we have our annual general body meeting. It is no coincidence that this news has come just previous day evening, and we are all thrilled about it. We means the entire team of Sanjay, Uttam, and the entire AU team, and my colleagues on the board. Two of them are here, Kamlesh ji and Madam. And thank you for all of you for coming at a very short notice. Prince has given a background of what has happened in terms of getting this in principle approval. As you know, the approach of RBI, if I can decode or decipher, is that you have some experience and expertise. Then from that, you graduate to the next stage. So from NBFC to small finance bank, and from small finance bank to full-fledged universal bank. And so we had, it was there when the small finance bank framework was announced, but clarity emerged in 2024 circular, which provided the glide path for those well-performing small finance bank to apply for conversion to universal bank. And we are first in the block to apply for that. And as all of you know, in the small finance bank ecosystem, we had the largest market share, close to 40%. And in a sense, we are already, quote unquote, already a large universal bank. As Prince said, last quarter our balance sheet has gone to 1,60,000 crore, more than many of the small size, medium size commercial bank. And this is, as Prince was telling, this is the result of our hard work, dedication, sincerity. Though it started their journey in a small way as a vehicle finance and focused NBFC, then became a small finance bank. But the sight, the dream, and the expectation was, though it was a small bank, but the dream was always to become big and large and universal, and which Uttam was telling me, the universal bank in Hindi, which has come in the Hindi version of RBI's press release, is Sarvavyapi bank. So even though we are as NBFC to start with a small finance bank, quote unquote, I think the entire team believed in one mantra. The mantra is मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल की तलाश कर, मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल की तलाश कर, मिल भी जाए दरिया तो समंदर की तलाश कर. So even if we have achieved, we wanted to achieve more. And let me assure you on behalf of the board that this 12 months or 18 months or 6 months transition period will be very crucial for us, and we'll rededicate the entire board and entire the management team, if I can say on behalf of Sanjay, Uttam, we'll rededicate ourselves to the cause of financial inclusion, to the cause of empowering people who are underserved, and those who don't have easy access to finance. with best of products and best of processes. So as Prince was telling, though we have been a small finance bank, we have invested heavily in technology and talent. So when technology and talent touch together, that creates wonder. And I believe with the help of best-in-class technology and very capable and dedicated manpower, we have been able to achieve this result. And I'm sure we'll again redouble our commitment to grow and grow sustainably, grow responsibly, and from the board side, all of us, including people like Kamlesh ji and Kavita ma'am, our focus has been not only on oversight but also on foresight. So what we say, we do supervision, we do surveillance. We also want to focus. We have been focusing. We'll continue to focus on strategy and the vision. And I think this big vision of becoming a pan-India preferred bank, universal bank, it's a big challenge for us. And I'm sure the team of Sanjay and Uttam and the entire AU team, some of whom who are here, they will certainly take this challenge in right spirit, and we will not disappoint the regulator. We will continue to do good work, and I believe the day is not far when again we'll meet you, or maybe here or some other room, when we'll start in a full-fledged manner as a universal bank. So let me end here with one Sairi once again. Because as Prince said that Sanjay Uttam didn't come with any pedigree to do this financial services. They came with their humble background, but the dream in their heart and sparkling in their eyes. So वो कहते हैं कि विरासत से नहीं होती है किस्मत की फैसला, विरासत से नहीं होती है किस्मत की फैसला, ये तो उड़ान तय करेगी आसमान किसका होगा. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for those words, foresight and oversight and foresight. We'll definitely keep that in mind as executives, sir. So, without taking further time, obviously, I think it was Sanjayji's vision and unwavering commitment that has enabled us to come here and stand in front of you at this important occasion. So, I mean, who better than to share his vision than the man himself? So, can I now request Sanjayji to, share his thoughts with all of us? Boss, over to you.
Thank you, Prince. तुमने विजन और इतनी बार बोल दिया, सब ले लेंगे अभी मेरे से. फिर यू में क्या करेंगे? But thank you so much for coming. Good afternoon. Pranam. I think I'm overwhelmed, highly emotional because कल शाम को 6:15 बजे after maybe 8 years of our SFB existence, we got that news, and I called up our chairman. He was in Delhi. That, sir, it can't be without you. Can we come all together and celebrate? And I'm also having our Kamlesh sir, who heads our audit committee, Kavita ma'am, who's on our board. They live in Bombay, so I told them, can you come and be part of this celebration, part of discussion with you? कुछ बातें emotionally बोलना चाहता हूँ पहले, because ये मेरा कल, of course I met my team, but काफ़ी बातें बोली जाती हैं, लेकिन I think the most important thing is, and all of us, मुझे पता है आप लोग कुछ मीडिया से हैं, आज our roles are different, right? I may be running bank, Kamlesh sir may be running his audit firm, the photographer is for photography ability. But I think जो सबसे important है वो है कि in our democratic setup, which is we India, right? And I have seen last 30 years, coming from nowhere, of course, my dad was good enough. He was engineer. He gave me good education and everything. I became chartered accountant. So I'm not saying that I was nothing there, but to have a bank license, after 30 years, I think this can only happen in India, because lot much has been said about India over the years, हम जब बड़े होते थे बोलते थे जब तक आपकी जान पहचान नहीं होगी, जब तक आप वेल कनेक्टेड नहीं होंगे, तब तक आप इस देश में कुछ नहीं हो सकता, but last 30 years for me, and of course in that 30 years, Uttam is with me for 25 years, we both have seen that period where how if you go on some path, you have some purpose, you have integrity, you can be, if you are inclusive, and you don't think much, right? Just go on the path, and that path has to be right, and your walk has to be right walk, right? Then you will arrive somewhere, right? And for us, and I was telling Madhavji when I met him in the room that लगता है भगवान irrationally हमको reward कर रहा है, because मेहनत सब बोलते हैं मैं मेहनत करता हूँ, अरे कौन मेहनत नहीं करता यार, सभी मेहनत करते हैं, राइट? चेयरमैन सर एट द 71 एज, सर परसों तो बर्थडे बनाया था सर का हमने, आई कॉल्ड अप एट 8 o'clock कि सर कैन यू कम, यू टेक द मॉर्निंग फ्लाइट, बट ही सेड कि नहीं आज रात को आ जाता हूँ. ही केम एट 10 रात के 10 बजे की फ्लाइट पकड़ रहे हैं, 2:30 बजे उतर रहे हैं. सो मेहनत कहाँ कमी है सर की भी, एंड दैट टू विदाउट रिवॉर्ड ऑनेस्टली. सो मुझे लगता है कई बार हम हार्डवर्क के बारे में ज़्यादा बोलते हैं, हम सब करते हैं. आई थिंक आई एम फॉर्चुनेट इनफ, वी एज ए AU इज फॉर्चुनेट इनफ कि we have been irrationally rewarded by this whole setup. I would give this whole credit to the government of India, the RBI, our board, our customers, our investors, you people, the media, everybody, because without them, मुझे नहीं पता किसका क्या effort होगा हमारे साथ, किसका क्या contribution होगा, so difficult to measure it. But in the end, we got the most powerful platform on this earth. When I go and see the JP Morgan stories, the Goldman Sachs stories, our HDFC Bank stories, it just fascinated me. And now that chance is with us, the chance with this team, that now we can also bring much difference to this whole India, in my opinion, because of course, जैसे सर ने बोला हमें सर्वव्यापी लाइसेंस मिला है और उत्तम ने कल जोड़ा था अनंत काल तक के लिए, forever के लिए. So I think it's up to us, honestly, that how this team can re-strategize and look for another 100 years, and that is why we are building this institution, I am 100% sure that we are not making this platform a transactional platform. We are making this platform a relationship platform, a generational platform, a platform which can exist forever, So, and this kind of license, which is the universal license, helps us this, because if a regulator has a trust on you, if the ecosystem has a trust on you, you people can appreciate, and we as the executive can do all those things which is required to build all those, impact or purposeful banking, then nothing will be short of. I know there would be so many challenges. कभी tariff ये हो रहा है, कभी COVID आ रहा है, कभी war हो रहे हैं. But this is the part of business, and we at AU want to take it everything in a very subtle manner. We don't want to overreact. We know that in our 30 to 50 year journey, this will happen. And it's so good that everything is happening with a team which has building it up, so that the team which comes after 10, 20 years can learn from our experience and handle those challenges. मुझे नहीं लगता कि सर ये चैलेंज 2050 में नहीं होने वाले, या 2080 में नहीं होने वाले, या अगले सेंचुरी में नहीं होने वाले. This will be going on like this because we are human, right? So every time there will be some new human with new ambition, new things, and he might want to disrupt the world, but we as a banker need to, hold ourselves. So इसीलिए मैं हमेशा बोलता भी हूँ, बहुत जगह बोला भी है, आज भी बोलना चाहूँगा कि एक दिन में कुछ नहीं होता, और ये सबके लिए है, एक दिन में कुछ नहीं होता, लेकिन एक दिन सब कुछ हो जाता है. आई थिंक कल का जो दिन था शाम का, I think I would give that day, 7th August 2025, evening 6:15, when we got the universal license in principle approval. I know it's a transitioning, but we'll make it happen, because at my end, I would only tell everybody here in my press media that for me, organization first, bank first, is the attitude. I know there is some transitioning required of my shareholding from my personal name to NOFC, but I think that is doable, and I'll make sure that it happens quickly. We have an 18-month period, but I don't know how much time will take it, but it will happen sooner than this 18-month, and will become universal. And as you all know that once you become a universal, AU, if you take the spell out AU, आपको सबसे पहले AU को बनाना पड़ेगा, because our name says like this. There's no other bank before us in terms of name, honestly. So spell, right? So that is there, but otherwise I would say the business model remain very strong. We believe that this license will push our business momentum more, especially raising more cheaper cost of money that will enable us to serve our customer better. I don't think that our business model is going a tremendous change in next 3 to 5 years, because the cost of money will only come to our satisfaction or to the satisfaction of the main player maybe next 3 to 5 years. Then the whole change in the business model can happen. But I'm so happy that being an SFB also, it has fulfilled our the whole ambition also, that where can we serve unserved, unreached markets, which we have done so well over the period, right? So I think that will continue, and the benefit of universal will start taking more advantage with the time only, right? So thank you so much for listening me, and I don't want to take much of time, because I know you have many questions. So it's good to answer you people, so that our whole essence of this licensing can be expressed fully, right? So thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thank you so much, boss. Thank you for those encouraging words. I think we can move to Q&A. So yeah, we'll हाँ ये light बंद कर सकते हैं क्या? Can we shut off this light? So I'm guessing my colleagues are circulating the mics. Ankur, you have the mic.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations for the transition. As you mentioned about the holding structure, which is going to change in 18 months, and you also mentioned that it will happen sooner than the timeline. I want to understand in terms of numbers, how much of that transfer needs to happen, A. And you also mentioned about the strategy. Now, you are saying for next 3 to 5 years, there is not going to be much change. But in terms of gaining advantage of being a universal bank, you will have cheaper cost of funds. The priority sector lending can be slightly less. I'm saying with that advantage, how much of the focus will be there on the corporate side? If you can explain that.
Yeah. So Ankur, I think you have 2-3 questions, right? So first, we just got the whole in principle approval letter yesterday night. So where the regulator has stated that my whole holding has to go into the holdco structure, my only holding, right? So we need to work it out, the whole modalities and processes. But I hold around 22% in the bank, so that entire holding need to be in that structure. So I think that's the only thing. And why I'm saying, because other than that, there is nothing which requires us to complete, because we are scheduled commercial bank. We have done all those regulations or compliance which is required for any bank to be done. So there's no extra cost on the bank angle. It's just this transitioning happen and we can become a universal one. Of course, we need to fulfill these smaller things, which is not so material to be disclosed, honestly. So, but all set and done in that level. But I need to figure out how much time and what is the process, because we haven't got the time even to discuss it internally, right? Second, in terms of your business model, I think the biggest challenge being an SFB was that is that where people actually question your status. whether you are, what is this SFB? Whether you are a cooperative bank, can you take the large deposits, how much you are secured, whether you are as good as the other banks. So that unnecessary discussion was too much for my people to handle on the ground. I think this license will actually take away all those challenges for people on the ground, and you can actually focus on the business itself, right? And if you getting a, I would say, validation by a regulator like RBI, then it sends a strong message to public that this bank is safe enough, right? And so I think these two things will play out very quickly, But eventually you need to translate into numbers, right? And that's my sense that cost of money we'll see going through change in next 3 to 5 years. But to get to a corporate finance, still very far away. And to be very honest, we've been a retail asset guy all our life. We are good in our vehicle finance, mortgage finance, personal loan, credit card, SME, MSMEs. So I think we as executives also feel that if we have an opportunity to grow there, so let's stick ourselves there, right? And look for a corporate finance when we have a larger balance sheet than now, right? So I think it would be a gradual transformation. Otherwise, I would say the immediate benefit for us, if you ask me from tomorrow morning, is this, that there will be a huge momentum shifting in our favor, because people are very curious that, why AU is able to get a universal license when there is nobody has got in last 10, 12 years, right? So I think that momentum will be in our favor. Now it's up to our team to execute and see, but I'm giving the long picture, right? So that we are not in hurry saying that, कल से AU का cost बढ़ जाएगा, कल से ही हम corporate finance करने वाले हैं. I think that won't happen so quickly, but it will happen gradually.
Yeah, hi. This is Saloni Shukla
from the...
If
I can just add.
Yes, sir.
In fact, we have also debated in our board, and to my mind, my board colleagues are here, we will continue to be a retail franchisee.
Correct.
And even though we become quote unquote a big bank, we will continue to be a big bank for small bank. So we will not lose focus on small.
Right.
Yeah, hi, this is Saloni Shukla from the Economic Times. I have two questions. So primarily, the AU book is largely concentrated on a couple of geographies. Like Rajasthan has about 22% share in deposits and about 26% in loans. And then there is Karnataka. So, as you transition to a universal bank, what would be the strategy, on sort of de-risking your book from, only couple of geographies? Because, for example, Karnataka is of late seeing some issues, regarding the MFI book. Maybe Rajasthan in the future can see. So that is one question. Second is particularly on the unsecured piece. You have a high, NPA on the digital unsecured loan side. Particularly also apart from that, there is MFI that is about 4% digital unsecured. It's about 8.3% in GNPA. Then there is inclusive banking. I'm guessing that would be financial inclusion, MFI. So that is also about 4%. Going forward, Mr. Khan will know this better, but RBI is particularly, on compliance and, the regulatory forbearance is immense on universal banks. We hear chatter constantly from banking executives. So, how are you going to control that unsecured piece? And then one question particularly to you, Mr. Khan, you've overseen this entire process of transition from SFB to universal. You've been within the RBI. What would be your sense? Would the RBI now be open to giving more licenses or transitions to SFB? Or, AU had about more than 40% share of the SFB universe. So it's only like one here, and then there will be again a sort of a cap on, bank licenses. Thank you so much.
So you want to, should I go first? Okay. So I think two things for you, ma'am. First, in terms of diversification, you will appreciate that once we started NBFC, we were just a 3-product company. We were doing wheels, we were doing affordable housing, and and the SBL, the secured mortgage loans for small businesses, right? But in last 8 years, we have diversified from 3 products to now 30 products. So in terms of product, that is why I think we were I would say, preferred by regulator that you have a diversified book, which has the retail, which is around vehicle finance, then have a affordable housing, then we have a small business loans for businesses, then we have gold loans now, then we have a commercial banking, that too MSME, agri SMEs, NBFC funding, REG, credit card, personal loan, AD1 license. So we are complete bank in that sense. If you ask me, getting a universal, am I getting some new product? The answer is no. Because as a SFB, you are not limiting in that sense, right? And AU has demonstrated that an entire branch banking piece, because we were never had a liability or a deposit franchise at all when we started a bank. So, in my opinion, AU has done fabulously well in last 8 years, building up this whole diversified product, across the financial services, across the financial spectrum. And second, we were just present in 9 and 10 states. Once we transformed from NBFC to SFB, we are now in 21 states, and we are having a 1.2 lakh crore customers, right? So I think in terms of diversification around the country already been done. It's not easy to build distribution overnight, right? But our presence is there. And you are absolutely right that we are 30% asset as Rajasthan. But at the start of the bank, as SFB, we were around 80%. So that 80% has come down to 30% in last 8 years. I strongly believe that in next 10 years, AU will not be more than 15% in any state. Because that's the risk management we need to build on, right? No product should be more than 15% in our overall things. I think diversification is the tool of risk management, right? So I think that is evident. That has to be done. Some of the states won't perform. Some of the product won't perform. But we need to keep working on those states, those products, so we remain very sustainable, solid franchise, in that sense, right? And I think AU is one franchise in last 10 years you need to appreciate about the diversification which just happened over the period, right? We were more of a Rajasthan-based NBFC, but if you ask me, next 18 months, once we transformed ourselves in Universal Bank, will be more of a Mumbai-based bank because would have heard the news that we bought the place in BKC, which is will be our headquarters, And I would want to say that where was our right to have a BKC building? We were people from Jaipur, who want to have his own business, and in 30 years, you are having a BKC building, right? And want to build a universal bank from there, right? So I think that diversification is happening, I would say that there are certain pockets, like in an unsecured loan, our personal book is only 1,000 crore, right? And that too with a 4% NPA, the conditions are tough. We are going with the tough conditions, right? And we need to navigate this, right? In terms of credit card, you know about that the best of the player having a 6-7% NPA, But we started at a wrong time, and now NPAs are still little more from our expectation high, but we strongly believe we'll bring that back, right? But that book is only 2,300 crores, So 2-3% book, in our whole scheme of things, beyond a point it doesn't hit us much, right? And microfinance, about that the whole agenda of SFB was to really do more inclusive funding, right? And we were missing microfinance, and we got FinCare merged with us. Now it's good 15-month, 18-month period, right? And microfinance also was on a tough time once we got into that business. But I think now that is also stabilizing it, So I think as a bank, I told you that all these challenges, we have to navigate it, right? The point of comfort can be that we should not do mistakes, which is so hitting us, right? It are manageable mistakes, right? We can do some mistakes, manage it, just move on, right? In spite of all these challenges, AU remain 1.5 ROA bank, which may be top 5 banks in the country, right? In my opinion. So So I think we have to see the brighter side and had to work on our challenging side, right? So I'm pretty fine with this kind of challenge and navigating through that, so that we build much foundation around all these learnings, so that once we complete our 10-year of operation as a bank, our next 10 years can be so different, right? So that's my sense, right?
If
Sir,
I can,
you want to ask?
sir, if I can just add a data keeping question, just to answer. Karnataka is just 2% of our loans and 3% of our deposits.
Because we acquired FinCare, people believe.
But overall, right.
Yeah,
so Karnataka is just
Karnataka is not a big business for us as of now. Yeah.
And just to add here, regarding that ordinance you specifically mentioned, last month the collection efficiencies has come back to the normal now for the Karnataka also now. And it's being a very small book, again the collection efficiency on the bank is back to normal now.
For microfinance book.
For the microfinance book.
Yes.
Yeah. The only unsecured book we have there in Karnataka is microfinance. Yeah.
Yes. Sir, I think
Our CFO, Mr. Bimal Jain, is here. So what is our total unsecured portion? Is only 11% or 13%?
8%, sir.
18%.
8%. Including microfinance.
It's only 8%.
8%.
8%.
Including
So,
microfinance.
less than 10% is total unsecured.
Include, yeah.
The other point which you talked about, the risk part, in fact, board as well as risk management committee, this is one of our topmost agenda of product concentration and geographic concentration. And over a period of time, we have seen the states where we have larger concentration, it is going down sharply. And so we are now in 21 states and 4 union territories. And after you transit, I think you will see more and more diversification. And on that point, what MD Mr. Sanjay said about the small finance bank, I'll tell you one personal experience. I was purchasing a house in Delhi, so I took a draft of a small finance bank. So when I gave to the builder, he looked at 10 times. He says, "ये draft चलेगा? ये small finance bank क्या है? ये क्या बैंक है?" मैं कहा भाई ये शेड्यूल बैंक है, उसको दिखाया, मैं रिजर्व बैंक से पहले था तो मैं ऐसा काम नहीं करूंगा. So I have to convince him to accept a 50. He thought small finance bank means we will do small transactions only. So that is the changeover in terms of perception.
I just see the irony. Sir was there in the RBI when they coined the word small finance bank. He can't complain also.
No, but anyway, I am no longer in RBI and I have no insight to what RBI is thinking. Coming to your question, neither I have the insight nor this Sanjay has insight. There is another Sanjay, in Mahabharata.
So
In Dhritarashtra was... we are all over Dhritarashtra. So he was only getting foresight from Sanjay. So you should possibly ask him in next monetary policy question answer. But the point is, we are the trailblazer, and we have, as I told, even though we are a small bank, we are functioning like a large bank with all parameters in place, whether it is risk, whether it is compliance, whether it is internal audit. So everything was in place like any other strong, sound, large commercial bank. So I think that is, this in principle approval is a testimonial to that. If other banks do well and the supervisor and regulator is satisfied, and I find no reason why they should not get. In fact, we will welcome, all of us should welcome competition. As you know, after 11 years, you have got a license for a private sector bank. And in India, still credit to GDP ratio is still 60%. There are still a lot of need and demand for new banks coming, and more competition, more competitive products, more technology should be coming to provide better services to the people. Yeah.
Hi, so
Mr.
this
Agrawal,
is
hi,
Siddhi
Vishwanath here from NDTV Profit.
Yes.
Just a quick question. While you're right, your microfinance and credit card books are small compared to the rest of the portfolio, but these were two businesses that you launched with a lot of fanfare, and then very quickly after that, you had to state that you made some mistakes, specifically in the credit card portfolio. And my question is around management bandwidth. You're entering businesses that you've not done previously. Would you then have to end up hiring people from outside, experts from other lenders to come and run these businesses for you? Because maybe the internal strength, staff strength doesn't have the ability to run these businesses that well.
Vishy, I think you have to appreciate that you have to take our 8-year in horizon than the last only 2-3 years. When we started SFB, we never had an experience to build a deposit franchise. And we hired all the people from the industry. And if you ask me, after 8.5 years, we are 1.3 lakh crore of deposits at 7.0 kind of rates, and we command 40% of deposits among SFB. So there we have done so well, right? There was no commercial banking at all in this system, and commercial banking requires a lot of skill building around underwriting, project learnings, understanding your customer, and we have built around 35,000 crore of assets in those markets, right? And that too in last 8 years only. We have built an AD1 license, we have built an insurance platform, a wealth platform. So there might be some mistakes which we would do that, right? And if you are not have that kind of courage to bet on the people or bet on your product line, then you aren't able to grow also, right? So people ask me that what is the secret sauce behind AU success? I think this kind of trust which we make on people, right? Which we make on the customer, which we make on the system itself, is the hallmark of us, from over the period, right? So I think I would say that people need to be little generous to us, that if AU has able to build a 25 product line, would have made one mistake, and which we are admitting it, right? And in the sense that when the markets are tough, and that journey became more tougher because we were new in that journey, right? It's not be taken such a in a different manner, in my opinion. Rather, we should be more appreciative about that AU is still trying it. Because for me, if you're not building a credit card business, Vishy, then it's so difficult to tell any good customer who has the money that you give me money, but I don't give you a credit card, right? So I think we are in that sense. Microfinance, once we got FinCare, the FinCare we were getting a microfinance business, but we were also getting a South territory. We were also getting a gold business. We were also getting 110 branches, right? And we have successfully merged in those bank in us, right? The experience we have got is invaluable. That experience might be a little bit good, might be a little bit bad, will only help AU in times to come to execute their further endurance, right? So I think this is the journey which as a bank, I am ready to take. Because if you feel that everything has to be secured, everything has to be predictable, everything has to go as per the expectation, then I don't think that we can take courageous decision making at the time of event, right? So I think the hallmark of AU over the 30 years remain that take decisions, it's not a bad or good. With the time only you can make it bad and good, right? And back yourself, and if something has gone wrong, please go and repair it. But go on the growth path so that we become a very meaningful player. And I think this license is the testimony of that. Because if we would have diversified ourselves, I think there was no way this license would have come to us. So I think my sense is this, that banking is a risky business, right? And so there is nothing which is predictable. You have to just manage it.
Hi, so this is Siddhi from Bloomberg.
Just to add on this two-part, you said manpower part, other is quote unquote, you said fanfare of microfinance and credit card. So, as you said, microfinance still constitute only 5-7% of our business. 5%. And compared to many other peers, our microfinance book is, entire industry has
better behaved,
gone through that cycle. So we can't be outlier, but 2-3 data points I'll just try to, you can correct me and Bimal can correct me. 42% of our microfinance borrower, they're single lender.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So the problem of over-leveraging multiple lenders, now in guardrail coming now, which we also will be following, where not many had that 42% single lender relationship. Number two, we are per borrower 27,000 outstanding. Is one of the lowest in the microfinance. So you have to keep these factors in mind. And in microfinance, even though FinCare was Karnataka based, they were diversified. At least 10% is there around 8 to 9 states.
Correct.
10%,
So
yes,
they
sir.
are not fully concentrated in Karnataka, where there are issues apparently. So this is one. So far as the manpower part is concerned, I think one reason Sanjay probably didn't say, but is you are in Bombay, you will attract talent.
Correct.
And you will get good talent. I am not not saying that our talent is not. Our talent is excellent. Our senior management has continued for a long time. And from the board side and from the nomination and remuneration committee side, we have engaged an external expert. We are doing deep dive into the leadership development plans, succession plan, both for the immediate term as well as medium to long term. And capacity building is one of our priority areas. And the latest focus is AI-enabled banking, how we are all aligned, that management as well as board. So there also we'll have intensive training inputs. So we are focused on capacity building. And we'll also, wherever there is a need, we are not aversing to hiring talent. That gets facilitated with shifting to Bombay. But let me take a soft consent of Sanjay to tell that just because we are moving to our larger departments to Mumbai, we will not forget Jaipur, and we will have good presence in Jaipur.
Of course, sir. Jaipur remains soul, yes, sir.
Yeah, Siddhi.
Hi, sir. This is Siddhi from Bloomberg. You said in the beginning that your business model is unlikely to go through a change in the next 3-4 years. I was trying to understand what are the credit growth drivers that you're seeing in the longer term, and is there any aspirational rate of growth that you would want to, project at this point? Secondly, I understand that India is an underpenetrated market, but now that you've got a universal banking license, you will be competing, with banks that have already established themselves in, most parts of the country. I also wanted to understand how are you placing yourself, to compete with these banks? Is there a strategy or rationale in place that you have at this point?
Yeah. So I think the risk in business is around how India performs, in terms of our whole growth, because we have a direct linkage with our customers' prosperity, So his customer is growing, he's having a good cash flow, he can anticipate his or her business, his cash flow, which is some time, because we deal more in self-employed customers, right? So it's not easy. So if on my asset side, if my macro is not good, then there will be a pressure on our asset quality, because the scale has come in, right? And if there is some uncertain times like this, then, it's so difficult to gauge enough, because there might not be much exporters in our book, but anybody who having an SME or SME funding from us, and if that firm has a linkage to the exporter, that get impacted, right? So I think the macro on this scale will start hitting us now. So we need to be careful about it. And that's the only risk, I believe, because our 90% book is secured. So there can be an gross NPA, but I think the net loss would always be lesser, right? But I think that's the risk I always believe. I don't want to be commenting on my growth, because again it's an outcome of how the whole country is performing, right? And we don't want to push our envelope. We are well diversified in terms of product, in terms of geography, and we'll see that where are the opportunities are. We want to go there. And if we have, actually the idea is to really build a very sustainable bank. 1 year or 2 year doesn't affect us now, honestly, because I have seen journey of last 30 years, right? So you need to be very cautious enough in tough time and take very calculative calls, rather than push your envelope. So I would not want to guess any number that how much we really want to grow every year. It will be an outcome of that particular year, And what was the last question? Sorry.
I see. How do you compete with larger banks?
No. So I think honestly it is for them we are a threat. So, because we are pricing our deposit at higher rates, and we are dealing into a market which those banks don't lend, right? And that's our whole positioning of our business model. And given a choice, I want to be in that position where I started my pricing also.
So I think in 2016, RBI came out with the guidance of this structure of NFC. Before that, it was not there. So any banks coming in India now should be under this non-operative financial holding company.
But IDFC has collapsed the NOFHC now.
But that was the holdco.
Holdco, yeah.
This is not holdco. This is my shareholder code.
Promoter share.
Promoter share, the difference.
The second question to you, Mr. Agarwal, is how will your tenure for the Universal Bank be considered as the MD CEO? Because you've already spent 8 years in AU SFB. So when you convert into Universal universal.
I will apply with RBI that you should give me my 15 years from the date of universal.
You will ask for it.
I'll push my case.
But then you've been there from founding, so that means
I don't have any idea.
You know,
but
even
if you
older
ask
than,
me in a spirit, I am already in 8th year in my as MD, and my tenure of 15 years should complete by 32.
Yes.
On that universal platform. I don't expect that RBI will be giving me another 15 years. So, but it's fine. It's fine.
Thanks, Anshuli. Question.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, sir. So, sir, after this new name, what will be removed? Small or small finance both? Or
small finance, yeah? Do not take
Do not take
EU Bank.
Only EU Bank.
Yeah.
And sir, you said the next 3 to 5 years focus would be on retail only. So in retail, your mix will change. Now you're more focused in vehicle financing. So and pan-India diversification will happen.
So for us, retail means, as per the definition of RBI, up to a 5 crore loans comes under retail, right? So we are vehicle, our average ticket is 10 lakhs. Mortgage, our average ticket is 15 lakhs. Our gold loan average ticket is just 5 lakhs. So we categorize these 4 loans under retail. Right? In our business banking also, our 50% is below 5 crores. Right? So I would say if you see the entire our book as of now, which is 1.2 lakh crore, I think 80% classified as the retail one. Right? So I think we want to continue that space. Of course there can be a minor change here and there, but Anurag, that's there where we find our strength. Because we have built ourselves that fashion only, and we don't want to compete again with the big banks. We want to really give a tough time to NBFCs, to be honest, because nothing stops us from there, and we have the ability now. Once we get the universal tag, our cost of money can come down, and we can significantly play a very better in terms of lender for the customer, right? So I think that's the business model we want to operate.
By when also headquarters will be completely shifting to Mumbai, and you also will be completely shifting from Jaipur to Mumbai?
I'm already here, brother. So I would have said maybe a couple of times in the last couple of years that bank generally takes first 10 years to establish themselves, and in last 10 years what we have achieved is just beyond our dreams. We got ourselves the largest SFB first. Then we got one bank to get merged with us. We got a building in BKC now owned by us. Our 90% leadership team has been shifted from Jaipur to Mumbai. Now we get the universal one in August 2025. The RBI has given us 18-month period to transit to become a universal, which actually coincides with the March 27. March 27 is our 10th year of working, right? So I think this kind of achievement for any kind of institution in the first 10 years is humongous. The experience, the learning, the will, and maybe after this 10 years, which is I'm saying April to 27, you will see even new path. That's my sense. So I think we wait another 18 months, honestly, to be really a very force to be on.
There is a famous novel by Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities.
Anurag, I'm already here for the last 6.5 years in Mumbai.
We have seen you in Wankhede and a couple of other events also. Just asking about the suggestion because I know.
Any last questions? Sorry, just on the happy note. Yeah, so I think everyone has to move because they are
Yes.
point.
But आखिर में आप यही बोलेंगे हमने लिखा हुआ है बदलाव हमसे है. So I hope you will recognize this statement now.
And hopefully all of you can now open an account with us. हमारे support दीजिए. मैं बैंक को yes ma'am. संगीता ma'am.
Promoters of private banks are allowed up to 26%. Would you be considering increasing your stake because you are just 22% now?
मैम मैंने आपको बोला कि भगवान ने इतना रिलैक्सली दे दिया है तो ज़्यादा इच्छा नहीं है.
So you're not making that proposal also.
Sorry?
You're protecting your stake.
No, I don't want. I want bank to be a public platform. And beyond a point is a public platform built by people, for the people, by the people.
So you will bring
I'm
down
very
the
happy.
voting.
I'm very happy. commodities need to be worked out because there is some dispensations from the government and RBI, so we need to work that out. So we'll come back on that subject.
So now, once it gets transferred, if you want to get into new businesses related to finance, how does it work? The holding company has to apply for that?
So the bank can do their whatever bank want to do it, because if bank want to take some stake in insurance company or whatever, you have to get the approval from RBI, you can take that. But at my level, if I want to do some AMCs or insurance company or whatever, then the holdco has to do that.
So this regulation will differentiate between the bank and the promoter. Right? I think that's the main objective, as Khan Saab said. Thank you. Sorry, please.
Right. Your 22% is without any, I mean, it's not pledged or...
No. I don't.
Around close to 23%, and completely unpledged.
I have people like Khan sir and Kamlesh sir, you know.
I don't have any single share.
No, Bhagwan ne bahut de diya aur chahiye bhi nahi.
Perfect. On that note, thank you so much for all of you for attending this and giving us the pleasure of your company.
Yes.
I think there's lunch served and we can carry on some of these conversations.
Thank you so much. Keep remembering Bandao humse.
Yeah, sure.
Nice to meet you because we are going for a big TV chance interviews right now on the stage. On the TV chance, please plan your camera setup and everything.
This is embargoed.
I'm aware.
Okay.
It's just 10th person telling me.
Sequence wise, it would be CNBC first, ET Now second, third would be NDTV and fourth is Business. So please plan it accordingly.
Assignments?
रुकिए कमलेश जी
पहुंचेंगे हम SBI?
मुझे आपको जाना है
Here, sir. Anyway, is this lighting fine?
एक सेकंड एक फोटो ले
आराम से एक मिनट बस ये जाना भी है
No, sir, आप फोटो
पक्का
ठीक है।
आपको जाना होगा
We can do it here downstairs also, no problem.
मैम
These are print questions. Easily ask later.
सही पूरा ही मैम दिस फाइन
Question is 20.
परफेक्ट है प्रोटोकॉल भी परफेक्ट है
Sanjay.
ये मिलते तो कभी नहीं है
Thank you.
Correct.
You can be right here, sir. We can
Yeah,
start.
no problem.
Ready? Tic tac. Broad. We'll try to keep it brief, sir, because I have lots of questions that I've been holding back.
Correct.
But yes. Start. Mr. Agarwal, congratulations on getting the first banking license we've seen in over a decade.
Yes.
How does life change from AU Small Finance Bank to AU Bank? What are the immediate benefits that will accrue?
Yeah, thank you, Ritu, for this wishes. You know, unbelievable, honestly, because I never imagined when I started 30 years back that we'll get to this level. You know, so I think the credit goes to the Government of India, RBI, the customers, the board, my employees, my friends, family. You know, what a journey. So again, I wish I can be in that zone forever, right? But I think, to be very precise, we are already a bank, right? And we are doing, as a bank, many things, you know, raising money, lending money, right? So much not will be changed immediately.
Okay.
This transition is, this approval is in principle. I think will take some time to really become universal. We have to do some formalities around our structure. But I would say the momentum will be so strong in our favor, because if the validation has done by the regulator, then I think there is much curiosity around people that, you know, what is AU, what they do, you know. So it will be much easier working for us. I believe we can have a better growth numbers this year too.
Okay.
We can actually look for a better cost of money in immediate also, because if people start believing in you, they can park the money with us. You know, we were giving them little higher rates in comparison to our mid-sized banks. So that can also be addressed, So I think slowly, the whole benefit will come. But the immediate focus is on to really do that transition in terms of universal bank.
Okay, the transition period that you've been given, this 18-month period that you spoke about, why has the regulator to begin with asked you to transfer the entire promoter stakeholding of 22% to this non-operative financial holding company structure?
Ritu, you have to appreciate that we just got the approval last night. So we haven't got in touch with the regulator as of now that what is the reason behind it. But I would say on the face of it that it benefits me personally because my structure around holding is with me, my personal name and my family name, which is not that great in my opinion because it does not free me up, right? So I think the structure is quite progressive in my opinion, but the only challenge would be that how my whole tax angle will play out, right? So let me figure out. But for me, whatever regulator asks me, I will do that because we have an attitude of bank first, organization first. Yeah.
Well, your current shareholding at a little over 22%, you have headroom to take it up to 26%. Is that something, if not immediately, in the near term, you would look at increasing your stake?
Ritu, I'm good enough, because I'm a first generation entrepreneur. And I think God is kind enough, that I've been irrationally rewarded till now. So there is no plan to increase my stake.
Okay, you said immediately some of the benefits, of course, will come from the stronger brand, but, you get this avenue to expand diversify your loan book as well. Corporate, for instance, something you could do more of. PSL will come down from 60 to 40%. Give us a sense of what AU Bank will look like in 3 to 5 years from now.
Okay, so I think good question. So I would say that corporate finance is not in our immediate agenda because the corporate finance meet a lower lending rates, So we need to figure out our cost of money first has to go down. We are close to 7%. Our mid-sized bank, which is close to our size, is around 6%. So I think 100 basis point we need to come down first, which will not be easy so much, right? We need to really work hard to get to that level. So the focus will be more on that first. Second, I would say that in next 3 to 5 years, ideally, I want to be in retail only because there is much scope and space available. Idea is to remain competitive to NBFCs for lending and to be more within bank in terms of raising money, right? So that's the business model we want to operate in. So I would say my retail will still have around 70-75%. Maybe mid-size loans would be around 15-20%. So largely you will see AU in the same bracket as of now. But we'll come back to you because just last night we got it right. So
But if I were to ask you what are the areas in which AU as a universal bank can compete with some of the larger banks, and what are the areas where you think your strength lies in competing with NBFCs rather?
So deposit. On the deposit side, we want to be